So Tesla today, milestone on two milestones in one day.
Yeah.
Stock crossed over $1,000.
Yes.
First time ever.
It's a hell of a run.
And with that happening, that made its market cap over $1 trillion.
Very rare.
First time ever.
Yeah.
So
you know what it also did? This is very rare. Elon Musk became obviously the wealthiest man on the planet, but his value in the company, his equity, is worth more than the entire Toyota company itself. He's worth $297 billion.
Oh, yeah. And also because Hertz, one of the reasons
that was a good move.
Hertz announced that they're going to purchase 100,000 Teslas.
Yeah.
So Tesla stock is something that has been the talk of the town for a very long time. Shout out to Kenny Burns. I talked about it on his show today. The number one question is it too late to get into Tesla?
No.
How much more upside potential does Tesla have?
Yeah.
So who wants to start with you?
I'll take it first. If you invested $10,000 when we did Stock Club last year, you'll be up 85,000. So I'm speaking from a place of experience, and I've been in since 17. Xander account is looking really damn good right now. It's going to pull back. It's never too late. I always tell you guys, like a technology company, which Tesla is a tech company masquerading as a car company, you're going to have a chance to pull in. Like it may get back to 865, 863 in that area. There will be a place where I'll be looking to buy and then run it back up to the upside. But I told Stock Club, I'll tell you guys here, but in less than 18 months, Tesla will go to 1,400 and some change. So when I tell you, please put in chat, hold for 10 years minimum. We talked about it at InvestFest, but like if you look since inception, Tesla's up 18x. The real trades that really are life-changing are the ones that you hold for a long period of time. I know some of you feel like, damn, I missed out. The next chance that you get to get in around like that 863 area, it'll be a good place to load the boat. It is going to pull back. Trust me, it's overextended. It's even dropped at close today. But yeah, 865, 863, it'd be a good place to get in and hold it for 10 years. You'll be good.
Yeah, I think the news of having the price target getting raised has helped it, right? So we saw a bunch of analysts raise it to 1,100. A bunch of them. Some people went as high as 1,200. I saw maybe a 1,300, but that helps. The Hertz situation helps as well.
It helps a hell of a lot. That was a great strategic.
And they had a great. They reported last week, like I said, when we did the earnings report, that they were going to report their earnings. They had a great quarter, right? So based on their September numbers, last year, the entire year, 2020, they did 500,000 vehicles. So based on the September projections, they're now on pace to sell 900,000.
Yeah.
Right. So you're talking almost double the output of cars that are being produced. The Hertz situation only helps even more, right? Because
it helps tremendously.
Is Hertz? Are we still giving it to dead?
Listen, maybe
not.
Listen, we were talking about it earlier.
We gotta call Paul Bearer and an Undertaker.
Resurrected.
Like even if they're not able to lease a whole bunch of them on that side, they could sell them back.
See that and that
profit.
That's why I was going with it, because now this is like one of those first times where even if you thought about having a Tesla, you can now rent it to see if you want.
Yeah.
Right. And the fact that they ordered 100,000, if you do the math on that, 100,000 plus like, average price point, you're talking about $4 to $10 billion in revenue just from the Hertz deal. So you're talking about revenue plus more cars being sold. Is it too late? Not based on that information.
It's a hell of a way to drive demand, for sure.
That's
well played. Yeah, usually I kill Hertz, but I saw that. I was like, damn, that was a hell of a move that they made strategically to be able to increase in value. So, and then if their competitors jump on and do the same thing, it's even going to make them even more popular. So,
but I don't even think, even for Tesla right now, like we're going to stop with the competitors. Who is their competitor? As far as automotive companies, there isn't any. Right, like we can't. Right,
GM would be second.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like when you have the CEO of a company being worth more than the entire company, right? So you got the Ford, the GMs. We
have to remember Elon is great at those earning tricks.
Right.
Like whenever earnings come, he has a way to pull some tricks out of his bag to make sure he beats the number or be in profit. Yeah, that's why you can't bet against him. And I know people will be like, well,
no, not smart.
I don't like him for this reason. I'm like, you don't have to like him personally, but for my account, he has been one of the greatest drivers. Yeah.
And he might be the first person that actually could be a trillionaire.
Well, right? They said SpaceX.
When you combine the SpaceX valuation,
when SpaceX goes public,
he could be a trillionaire.
Yeah,
which is like
space exploration alone is a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity.
It's scary to think of.
He's almost definitely going to be a trillionaire. once SpaceX goes public, if Tesla keeps going at the pace that's why they did that calculation.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible for him not to be a trillionaire.
And he's pumping Doge again. So if you can buy SpaceX and Dogecoin.
But you know what's interesting? They asked him what crypto he owns, and on Twitter he says the only crypto that he owns is Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Dogecoin, which made Shiba Coin go down.
Yeah.
Can we talk about? It's a perfect segue.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that? Because that's still something that's pretty hot out there in the streets.
People still touching that coin? Yeah.
People are chasing, and that's why I say like, and because I used to get frustrated when I'm like, hey, this coin is bad. Why are you guys upset? I'm like, I'm attacking the asset, not you. But what I realized is like, this may be the only way that people are able to get in. So you got to wait. If like Doge comes back down to 11 or 14, it may be a good place to get in. But other than that, I wouldn't chase like Shiba. And you have to make sure that the institutions are buying at a high enough price point. Like you can check out QuiverQuant, Wallmine to see.
Yeah.
And then get a feel. Or if you want a real cheat code while it's available, you can look at what Nancy Pelosi buying. Nancy may have the
greatest that article
track record.
It's her and her husband.
So talk about that. Talk about that.
My grandma told me don't touch anything geopolitically.
Yeah. Okay. So the story goes, if you follow the investments of her husband and her over the past 6 months or past year, every company that she's invested in has gone up by at least 15 to 20%, if not more. And so Business Insider wrote
on the low end, even our call options have been like 400% or 500%.
Crazy. So, it's crazy.
So how you know which company her husband's invested in?
You can go.
It's published. Like they have a whole article on it.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've pretty much spoken about most of them. Obviously, Tesla. Like there's a bunch of them that we already know and familiar with.
The regular household.
Yeah, the regular household names. But it's just interesting that the timing of it was just like, wow, okay, they got in at the right point and obviously saw some incredible gains.
So one last thing about Tesla. How do you? So all right, does this change your view on ARK or?
Oh, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because I know where you're going with like the ETF situation. And so like if most people were in XLY, I think we had this conversation earlier, you saw XLY run like at a ridiculous pace today, right? Because if you look at and that's why we always talk about through the research, if you look at ETFDB and you look at the assets that are inside XLY, right, you'll see that Tesla's the number 2 allocation right after Amazon, which I believe is like Amazon's like 22% and Tesla's like 17.9. Somebody fact check me on that. But it's like 17.9%. And so we watched that number run. And it's like Tesla's running. All right, here goes XLY, the ETF. Even though Amazon has had kind of
it's building the base. It's
flat, it's been flat. But the fact that Tesla's been running like it is, it's helped that ETF grow.
Yeah.
I'm good on the 17.9.
Well,
our ARK still in it. Kathy's gonna make a comeback. I will say that 2024, like when we hit our next bubble or recession, it'll take off to the upside. But you said XLY took off to the upside, and then ARK was not moving as much as it should have.
And if you look at the percentage allocation in ARK compared to XLY, you'll see the difference, right? 17% as opposed to 10%, which is in ARK, plus the other allocations inside of ARK. So you got like Teladoc and all these other companies that haven't really been moving.
Teladoc, that's what really hurt ARK was the Teladoc situation. It was a few, but
Roku
Teladoc, they made a few. It wasn't just Tesla. It was a few of those stocks that didn't perform at a high level relative to the other market.
My graduates from my school being Forbes, bag drop.
Bag drop.
A mic drop, bag drop.
Bag drop.